All right, rise and shine. It's more World Card time, and Dan, the great curator. Guess what? It's another episode of Between Two Slabs live stream on YouTube, and it's the week of Thanksgiving. So Dan, I don't know if you are staying home for Thanksgiving, or are you going out of town to see your kinfolk, or
Home.
what?
We're staying home. My Thanksgiving tradition is I don't like Anne does all the cooking in the house.
She does. You don't do any cooking.
Once in a blue moon, I'll do cooking, but
I can see you handling the turkey. You don't handle the turkey and the ham.
Well, I'm just saying, like on holidays,
Yeah.
I'm in charge. On holidays,
okay.
I'm in charge, and I make a big feast. Even though there's not that many of us living in the house, I have a big feast, and I just go all out. So that's like our tradition here. Is I stay home and I just cook a bunch of shit for the whole year. So I do that. I do it for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and the Super Bowl. Those are my 3 days of responsibilities where I cook, and then that's it. And then the rest of the time, Anne, she does all the cooking, or we eat out or whatever.
Now, do y'all eat y'all mix it up? Y'all put the American food with Asian foods too?
Well, when I'm cooking, it's American food.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's gonna be like a bunch of just yummy things that I've been watching on TikTok and Pinterest and things like that. Recipes that I try out. So it's gonna be good. What do you do for Thanksgiving?
I go and I visit one of my childhood friends I went to school with. He and his family live out in Simi Valley, and they have a big house out there. That's what people do when they get married. They leave Hollywood and they go out and live out in the boondocks. I mean, it's like an hour drive.
Right.
But man, he deep fries his turkeys and puts this Tabasco flavoring inside it. Oh my gosh, it's so crispy on the outside. Oh, I can taste it right now. Oh, so juicy.
Okay,
there's 4 turkeys. There's 4 or 5 hams. There's 4 or 5 of everything. So the time we get back, we could hardly walk. So every year, Maria and I have to walk 1 or 2 miles around the neighborhood.
Let's get into it.
Okay, what do you want to get into?
I love Thanksgiving holiday, but I feel like it's an afterthought now. I feel like when November 1st comes, they put up the Christmas trees in all the malls and everywhere. And it's like we forget about Thanksgiving and we go straight to Christmas. But I personally, I love the holiday of Thanksgiving, getting together with family, having a big meal, watching football on Thanksgiving Day. I love that tradition. And I just don't understand, I don't remember it always being like this. I feel like in the last 5 years or so, when they moved up Black Friday sales to November 1st, it's basically like Christmas.
They did?
Yeah, it's basically like Christmas, where they move up all the Black Friday sales to the first week of November, and people are already thinking about that. And to me, it even feels like Christmas right now to me, even though we're still in November. So I feel like we need to give Thanksgiving a little bit of love, right? Because Thanksgiving is supposed to be its own separate holiday. It should not be overshadowed by Christmas. That's just my personal thoughts. I don't know. You don't get that feeling at all?
No, not really. I feel like Thanksgiving's the day of overeating. That's it. And just I got to do this one more time next month.
So you don't have any issues seeing Santa at the mall in November?
Well, I don't really have to do it. I don't really go to the mall. I mean, it's more for you since you have a child.
Yeah, I mean that bends my corner when I go to the mall or any place outside and I see Christmas decorations being put up. It's like, come on, let's give Thanksgiving a little bit of love. Let's put up. There should be a rule where you put up Christmas decorations the last week of November. I can deal with that. But first week of November, that's too soon. Too soon.
No, I just enjoy it because to me it's like the start of the holidays is Thanksgiving. This begins for the next month and a half or month or however long you put it. But it's just a bunch of stuff to do. Usually that's a big meal. When I visit my family for Christmas, my parents don't cook, so we go out to eat for Christmas on Christmas Day.
It's so this is the best time of the year. It's so it's just a great time to spend time with friends and family. And I'm so glad that we kind of ended our show schedule in Dallas so that we can focus on all this stuff, because it feels really good to kind of get away from the show scene and the hobby a little bit, and then just enjoy all this other stuff at this time of the year. So it's a great time. My favorite time.
It definitely is, and I mean, it lets me go to attend some football games, which you saw on my Instagram. I went to the Chargers Chiefs game, which this is my second time going back to back, and both were like close games. Went to the end. Last year went to overtime with Mahomes pass to Kelsey. This year it ended the same. Mahomes passed to Kelsey for a TD, and they came from behind and won against the Chargers. We had a great time on Sunday.
Now, did you bring any slabs to the football game?
I don't bring slabs.
Come on. Don't you know that's the thing?
I brought some of my Mahomes cards.
You have to take a picture of the card with the background of the field. That's like a thing now. Right?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do it next time then. I have plenty of Mahomes rookie cards.
Yes,
autographed. I should have taken some.
That's how we spread the hobby love. We got to take these card selfies at all these stadiums. That's what the popular thing to do these days.
So it was great, and I got a good parking pass. Actually, I was about to buy some tickets, and I think one of my close friends overheard me and text me and goes, "Hey, I just hurt my knee. I just had knee surgery. Do you want my tickets?" So he gave me the tickets. So I was like, he gave them to me last year too because it was still working. It was on Thursday. So I enjoyed that. Also, it's beginning. Since I'm an editor in the union, this is also the beginning of the year of award season, and they do a lot of campaigning for all the movies to get them ready for all the award shows and stuff. And so they have a lot of Q&As with the directors, the editors, the actors. So and you sign up and you go to these things. They have receptions. Friday night, I took Maria. I don't know if you've been yet or not to the new Film Academy Museum at the LACMA. You know where LACMA Museum is? You've been to LACMA, right?
Yeah.
Up on Wilshire and Fairfax. Well, they just opened last year the Film Academy Museum. And that's really neat. If you ever have a chance to go, you should go see that, Dan. It's really nice. And the director who did you ever see Birdman or Revenant with Leo? Yeah, this is Birdman. His new movie. This is a Mexican director. It's a Mexican film called Bardo. And it was the entire cast and crew were there. And it was moderated by Guillermo del Toro. You know him too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was fun. And they had a reception. But since we have a dog, we only got one drink in and couple of hors d'oeuvres. And luckily, it's just a couple of miles from where I live. And we went back home and took care of the dog. So we have a good time. And I start signing up. I love all the benefits of being in the union. So I go and attend all the big Oscar movies.
Awesome. That's awesome. When is so this is the start of the award show season?
Yeah, they start campaigning to get the nominations ready.
When does it? How long does it go for?
Oh, couple months until Oscar time.
When's that?
Oscars, what, March?
Okay, because I was about to say, like, what I love about the holidays is after we get done with December, right? The holiday for me continues because then it becomes WrestleMania season with the Royal Rumble in January, and then leading up to WrestleMania in like I forget when it does, like March or something like that.
Yeah, right. I mean, next this Saturday is Survivor Series.
Oh yes, I love Survivor
games. So you're gonna watch it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually gonna be home this time because last time we weren't home for the last one. I think.
Oh, we were in
something like that,
Northern California.
Yeah, so super excited to watch Survivor Series. I really love because I feel like this time around they've really built it up to be more like it used to be. It used to be Survivor Series used to be like one person has a beef with some other guy and then he gets some partners with him and then they go at each other at Survivor Series. And it became like this weird like Raw versus SmackDown thing, which didn't really work for me because there was a lot of infighting within the groups. And then lately too, it's been like the last couple of years, it's been like just like random people being put together and going at each other at Survivor Series. But this time it feels like more like squads because they're bringing back factions right now with the storyline. Like Triple H is implementing these factions again with the Bloodline and the
Judgment Day,
and all those guys.
Brutes, yep.
Yeah, so now it feels like more storyline, more beef between these groups. So I'm super excited to kind of see how that plays out.
It was pretty crazy too. Like he didn't have much time to do the booking. Like you don't knew what the booking was until like last week after Crown Jewel. So I was like, how is he going to do all this in less than 2 weeks?
Right. I mean,
And then they were still announcing, fights or matches last night.
wrestling is so weird because you would think since it's scripted, right?
Mhm.
Spoiler, guys, wrestling is scripted. That
What?
they could plan it out by seasons like they do with TV shows, right? But it seems like wrestling changes constantly week to week or month to month or something like that because people get hurt, people get fired, different things, people get over, and then their storyline gets continued.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you don't know what the audience response is, and sometimes it's completely different than
Right.
what they anticipated. So
Right.
they've got to rewrite it now accordingly.
Right, because like I heard, because I read like the dirt sheets and stuff like that, and I guess Sami Zayn, the whole Sami Zayn bloodline thing was supposed to just last a couple weeks,
Yep.
but he's so over that they're just letting it go to see what happens.
Yeah.
Just things like that.
Yeah. Very, very, very interesting.
Right.
And then like Saturday they had I don't know if you watched the AEW Full Gear. Did you
I
see
watched
it?
highlights.
Okay. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I waited until my girlfriend went to bed,
Yeah.
and then I stayed up till like 3 a.m. watching because it was like 3 hours long, but it was pretty good too. Because spoiler alert, don't listen. Put your fingers in your MJF won the title against John Moxley.
Right. Okay? So I was thinking about like not saying this, but I'm super excited about this, so
Okay.
I'm gonna say it. Okay.
Okay. What is it?
Okay. So have you ever heard of Cameo?
Oh, you mean where people wish you happy birthday and all that stuff?
Right.
Yeah, we saw like Rudy Giuliani dressed up like Abraham Lincoln doing it.
Right. Okay. So I discovered that MJF is on Cameo. So
Yeah.
and I ordered one from him. But I put in the title, and I tried to do a Cameo before where I tried to get shout outs, and sometimes they just deny it. So it's no guarantee that they're actually going to do the Cameo, right? But I was watching the cameos that he does for people. They put like samples on there, and he just roasts people. Like he cuts a promo on them. Like if you say, "Hey, please wish me a happy birthday," he'll just like cut a promo on you and just like annihilate you like he would do in the ring, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
So, anyways, I ordered a promo. I ordered the Cameo from him, and I put in there, please. I put in there, and I think I set myself up for this. I don't think this is going to turn out well, but
Okay.
I put in there because there's a little description of what you want him to say and whatever, right?
Yeah.
I put in, I collect wrestling cards.
Oh my God.
And please cut a promo on all the trolls that think collecting wrestling cards is stupid. So my intention was to get him to cut a promo on all the trolls that I fight with in the hobby.
Oh my goodness.
But now I think that he's actually probably going to cut a promo on me, and he's just going to destroy me. But I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Wrestling cards, you stupid idiot.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that turns out. I hope he doesn't cancel it because there's always a possibility they just don't want to do it, so they cancel it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Now, did you say you're on Cameo too? Is the Great Curator?
No.
Can I get a birthday wish from the Great Curator?
Actually, anybody could be on Cameo, so I could make one because I saw like just random people on there that claim to be influencers or content creators or viral TikTok stars. So, yeah, I could definitely put myself on there. I'll charge like
oh my gosh.
a crazy amount. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully I get it in a week. If not, if I don't post it within a week or so, then he probably cancel it.
Okay.
Anyways, okay. So let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about.
What else is on your mind? You have anything else?
Okay, so on my mind. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about here. I have this little prop here. Okay, this is a little bit sad, but I'm going to tie it into the hobby here.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So for people who don't know, Jason David Frank passed away over the weekend. Jason David Frank, JDF, was the original Green Power Ranger. He played Power Rangers for like 20 years or so. Super cool guy, very talented. Unfortunately, he did pass away over the weekend. He was only 49 years old. He committed suicide. Very tragic.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, very tragic.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh my God, that's awful.
So to me, like for me growing up in the 90s, huge Power Ranger fan. And this hit me pretty hard where I felt like I was really, really sad, really bummed out because he was he's like a childhood hero, you know, very fond memories of him. And it just kind of got me thinking, and I'm going to tie this into the hobby, guys. Don't worry. Okay. It just kind of got me thinking a little bit here because what made me even more sad is that I actually had a chance to go meet him because he would go to like comic book stores and do public signings and stuff like that. The guy was very, very dedicated to his fans. He was so interactive and so engaging with all his fans. He really knew how to do social media, and you know, this dude was like beloved among the Power Ranger community and stuff like that. But I had a chance to go see him. He came here in California a couple months ago. He was at a comic book store in like the Valley somewhere. And I thought about, oh, maybe I want to go see him. That'd be kind of cool. But it was like during the time of the day and during the week where it would have been like a 2-hour drive for me, basically, to go see him. So I just like, you know what, forget it. I'll go see him at a comic book convention or something the next time, right? I didn't really think about it too much. And now, you know, obviously he passed away, so I'll never have that chance. So that really bummed me out. That guy decided to kind of take his life, and it just kind of made me think, it just kind of made me think. Well, I'll just say this real quick. I don't want to get really into this, but I'll just say, like, you know, mental health is a very serious thing. We should all take that very seriously. It kind of, the last time I felt this way when somebody passed away, some celebrity that passed away that I followed, was when Anthony Bourdain passed away a few years ago, where he also committed suicide. You think, like, it's crazy. You think that these guys like Anthony Bourdain, right? He's world traveler, you know, famous celebrity. He's got all this stuff. Jason David Frank, he's like beloved by his fans, and you know, in good health, good shape, and everything like that. He was coming out with a movie next year called The White Dragon.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, you think these guys have a lot going for them, and then they you know, their mental health is not there, and then they commit suicide. So it just makes you really want to be present in the moment and appreciate the things that you have while you still have them, because you never know when things can go away. So that kind of gave me some perspective, because, you know, we've been fighting with these trolls the last couple weeks, right? Or for me, last couple months, we've been fighting over just stupid shit. Like, these guys they just want to complain about stupid shit, and we go back and forth, and it just kind of, things like this give you perspective where you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time dealing with that stuff right now when I should be focusing on other things that bring me joy. Like, I've talked about this before, but this gives you more perspective, right? You know what I mean? Like, you should really be appreciating things, or trying to spend your time to do things that make you happy, rather than falling into this trap where you're just fighting with people over things that don't matter within the context of the hobby and things like that. So kind of made me think like that. But the real point I wanted to bring up here is that after he passed away, I felt compelled to get something that would make me feel like I was close to him. Like, so I own this action figure. This is the original Power Ranger action figure from the 90s, right? I own this.
Oh, wow.
So immediately I grabbed this, and I was just kind of like, I put it right next to my desk, because it was on my shelf before, but now I have it right next to my desk for me to kind of admire it and enjoy it. And it reminds me of JDF. But I also was like going on eBay to try to look for stuff. Like, there's not really Power Ranger cards out there. They made cards in the 90s, but there's like no graded stuff, right? So unless you're going to buy it raw, you don't really know what you're going to get. But there's almost like no graded Power Ranger cards out there. There are graded comic books and things like that. And I was looking at these things, and I was like saying, okay, what do I want to buy, right? And it made me kind of like think about the process of being a collector. You know, like, we as collectors, when we like something, we need to have a little physical representation of that thing that we like, whether it's an action figure, a card, a comic book, or whatever, right? It brings us, it's weird. It scratches this like weird itch that we have as collectors, where we feel like we have a little physical representation of something that we really like, and it gives us a sense like we belong. You know what I mean? Like we're part of that thing, right? Like I didn't know JDF personally, and I never met him or anything like that. But I feel like I'm connected to him because I got this little thing that reminds me of him, right? And this is a thing that I think all collectors can identify with, and this is what really sets collectors apart from everybody else in the hobby. There's a lot of people in the hobby where they're only here to make money, or maybe they like collecting, but their focus is on flipping, making profit, things like that. And I think that's what these trolls that attack people like me, you, and everybody and our friends, right? I think that's what these trolls, their mentality is, that they don't have that collector mindset where they can appreciate something, right? Like these things aren't representations of anything that they can really appreciate. All they see is money. So when we talk about things that we collect, right? If I talked about Power Ranger cards, for example, people would roast me and they would attack me saying, "Oh, he's pumping and dumping Power Ranger cards." It's because they don't understand, the real reason behind it. They don't understand why people collect stuff, because it brings us joy, because it's a little physical representation of something that we enjoy or something that we have a memory with. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like my thought process, how I kind of tied this whole thing back to the hobby. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a tragedy. I remember I was working for Saban Entertainment when they first Power Ranger girl passed away. Like that was over 20 years ago. Remember that?
The Yellow Ranger?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
And I used to actually do promos for Power Rangers for Saban Entertainment. That was one of my first jobs here in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And I was like, assistant, working in promos at the time. And, so of course I found her like super sexy and everything. And then she passed away right when I was working.
If you guys don't know, Merlin has a thing for Asian girls. He's got an Asian fetish.
So I felt, because I'd seen her so much, it was just like I felt like I kind of knew her, so it was very like tragic for me. I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. And then he dies, and they're both original Power Rangers, but it's just like so young. I mean, even though she was in her 20s at the time, and now he was 49. I'm still young, being 49 years old, and it's just, you got to remember that life's too short, man. So you just gotta, like Matthew McConaughey says, and Dazed and Confused, you got to live,
Right. You got to be present. You got to enjoy things. You got to focus your energy and your time on things that bring you joy. But also, just to tie this back into hobby, this is why we collect things. This is why that people like us are so passionate about the hobby, and why we spend so much time and energy and money in doing the things that we do and making this type of content, because we understand it. We're passionate collectors, and we do it because it allows us to be part of something that we would otherwise never be able to participate in. Like the hobby, and it doesn't even have to be Power Rangers. It can be anything, right? Like people collect their favorite sports, their favorite athlete, their favorite sports team, their favorite movie. You collect music cards of your favorite bands. It's that little physical representation of something that we just love, that we can call our own. And that's really the foundation of what collecting is and what the hobby is. And I think that we over the next year or so, we need to kind of push that point across to all collectors. We're getting out of the phase where it's easy money, and we're going into a winter in the hobby. And so we need to really push and teach and show people that the focus should be on collecting for that reason versus anything else. And I think that will get a lot of people back and engaged in the hobby.
Exactly.
Okay, so moving on from that, anything on your mind before I go to my next topic?
No, I was going to ask you, like, what do you think of the hobby is right now? The state of the hobby. I mean, we're going to have a good holiday for the hobby, or what?
I hope that. I mean, the actual state of the hobby, I think the hobby is still going strong, but there are going to be people that are complaining about certain things. People always complain that they can't make enough money in the hobby and things like that, and prices going down and things like that. But if we look at the hobby as a whole in terms of how much activity is going on, how many shows there are, how many people involved, how many companies are putting out new products and things like that, I would say the hobby's still pretty healthy and it's still going strong. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon. But I think that people just have to be smart about how they participate in the hobby, which is why I went on that whole rant to begin with, right? We need to put the focus back on the foundation of the hobby of collecting, buying things we like, pumping things we like, instead of always just like profit, money.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to focus on and consume content that contributes to that, right? Versus content that will undermine the momentum and credibility of the hobby by making people feel bad about what they collect, what they buy, undermining people's confidence in participating in the hobby, things like that. That kind of stuff is garbage. So we need to just kind of focus on that, be present, and enjoy the hobby for what it is.
Exactly. And since this is Thanksgiving week, I just want to say, what I'm thankful for. And I'm just like, it's been a wild ride this year. And it's been a lot of fun traveling with you and everything, and all the people that we've met on this journey. Um, it's been great. We've made lots of new friends at all these shows all over the country, and we've gotten really close bonds with a lot of these people. And I'm more than thankful for what we've experienced this year.
It's been
And
a
I
crazy
hope
year.
we keep it up.
Yeah. It's been a crazy year for sure. And who knows what next year will be like. I
I
think
know.
next year, I honestly think even if we do less shows next year, it's going to be even crazier because the shows that we go to will be bigger, better. We'll be more involved. We'll put out more content. So who knows?
I mean, it's great to make money and all, don't get me wrong, but I think I'm more appreciative of the relationships I have made this year and experience I've had.
Right. Right.
So thank you, Dan, and thank you all the viewers, and thank you for everyone at all the shows that I've attended. If you're listening or watching, thank you guys for meeting me.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next topic.
You said, hold on. Also, you said you won something.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about right now.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, this is going to be the next topic of what's been on my mind. Okay. So
it is okay.
So over the weekend, I won a couple heritage auctions for uncut sheets that I'm very excited about. I don't have them in hand yet, so I can't show you guys, obviously. But to the few people that actually watch our podcast here, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys. I won a Dunkin' Go Nuts uncut sheet, I think 1998 or something like that.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah. This is the one that looks like the Dunkin' Donuts logo. Basketball uncut sheet. For people who don't know, I do collect sports cards. I do collect sports memorabilia. I just don't show it off as much. But I collect uncut sheets, specifically, I collect like Kobe Bryant uncut sheets, where like 90s inserts, things like I have like what really made me well known in the hobby from my start was I had the Kobe, or I still have it, the Kobe credentials uncut sheet. That's what got me like noticed by a lot of people like last year. So I have that.
I remember that.
I have a Kobe Star Date uncut sheet.
Ooh.
I have a Kobe Great Expectations uncut sheet. And some other like sports and non-sports uncut sheets, but I like Kobe inserts basically. So I got the Dunkin' Go Nuts uncut sheet. I also got the Gemz uncut sheet, which is like the Smucker's jelly
right
uncut sheet. So I got those two things, right? And this is what's interesting about this. The only time I've ever seen that uncut sheet sell before was on Golden Auctions at the start of the year in January. Okay.
Was it the same one?
No, it's different.
Okay.
I assume it's different. Because one sold on Golden Auctions in January, and the one that I won was on Heritage Auction.
Okay.
A couple days ago, November, right? So here's the interesting thing, and I think we're gonna get a lot of comments about this. Okay. The one that sold in January on Golden Auctions sold for $11,000, something like a little over $11,000 with buyer premium. Okay.
Okay.
The one that I bought on Heritage sold with the buyer premium about $3,800. Okay, $3,800. So there's like $6,500 difference, basically. Little over $6,500 difference.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I think is interesting about this is that I bid on the one in January. Okay. And I was fighting with some dude. I was pissed. I thought it would go for about $3,000, maybe 4,000. And I was bidding with some guy at that auction. I was going to make a whole video about it. I was so excited that I was going to win this auction that I was videotaping. I was filming myself bidding on this, and I was going to make a whole thing about like
You
how
were.
and it went from like $3,000, which was my max at that time, my max bid. And then I wanted it so bad because I knew it was super rare. So I went up to like 4 and I thought I was have it. And then it went into extended bidding. And it went into extended bidding for like 2 hours. And then it went from like 4 to 5 to 6. And I was getting pissed. I was like,
no.
I was like, am I going to spend all this money on this? I don't know, whatever. Right. And then it went to 7. And I was like, and I just, at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this no matter what. I'm going to get this no matter what. And then it went to 7.5 and then 8 and then like 8.5. And then at that time, Anne, my wife, walked in and she's like, what the hell are you doing? You know, what are you doing? Why are you spending all this money?
Oh,
blah,
my
blah,
goodness.
blah, blah. You know, just scolding me, whatever. So I basically had to tap out at like, I think I tapped out at like 8,500 or 9 or whatever, like it was, right? And then it actually closed at like 95 plus buyer premium, which pushed it over to like 11,000 or something like that for that. Right. So I was like, I must have been like top 3 bidders on that. If there was anybody above me or anything like that, but probably must have been like top. Either I was number 2 or at the very least, I was number 3 bidding on that sheet. Right. And I didn't get it. Anyways, I was super upset and I didn't make a video about it because I was super pissed. Anyways, get to this auction in November and I got it for like $3,800. So this kind of goes to the idea that auctions, right? When you have an auction, one auction for one item can end up really high. But if you take away that top bidder that moved the price on that auction and you just have the second guy and the third guy, that price can actually be way, 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 way down if that item ever comes back up again, right? So my question I want to pose to people in the comment section, and I posted this on my Instagram also, is what accounts for the difference in the price? Is it the time of the year, January versus November? Because January in the hobby was strong in January, but arguably it was not at its peak. Okay. It's definitely down. The spending is a lot more down now in November than it was in January. Mm-hmm. But January was not like the peak of the hobby or anything like that. So was it like the time of the year? Was it the economy? Because the economy was still going strong in January, I think, if I remember correctly, versus to where it is right now. Was it the economy? Was it the auction houses? Golden, which is a marketing machine, right? They post everything, versus Heritage, which does not do a lot of social media marketing that I see, right? Was it that? Or was it the fact that there were just not enough buyers because maybe nobody wants that dunk and go nuts for like 5 people and I'm one of those 5. And if I have no competition above me, I can get it at a better price, right? So what plays into the difference in the pricing there? And then also, does that second price that I wanted at, does that determine the current market value of that sheet? Or is it just kind of like a one-off auction and actually that sheet is worth closer to what it sold for in January, right? Mm-hmm. You know, so this is something I think this is an interesting topic. Personally, I personally believe that I think that the auction houses, depending on what card you send, the auction houses do matter, because not everybody checks every single auction house out there. There's so many marketplaces to buy stuff that it's almost impossible to continually keep up with everything. So I think that, you know, people were probably sleeping on that Heritage auction on some of those items, which is good for me. I also think that the economy and the time of the year do play into it a little bit. Now we're going into holiday season. Maybe people are spending money on Christmas gifts versus, collectibles, things like that. But I think that's a small percentage of it, to be honest. I think it's like majority percentage is going to be the auction house. And then the other majority of it is the fact that there's less buyers for that item. So for like really rare items, there's only going to be a small group of people that are willing to spend money on whatever collectible, especially uncut sheets, which are super rare. So I think that the fact that the top guy got it out already and he's out of it, that makes me the second in line to pay for it, essentially. So I think that's probably my theory on why that price is the way it is. But I'd love to get your thoughts.
Well, I have one question. I'm sure the all the viewers do as well. Where the hell are you going to put it?
I'm gonna, that's a good question. It's probably just gonna sit in a top loader for a while until I free up some wall space.
Is that what it comes in, a giant top loader?
I'm sure I'll get one or something. I'll frame it up.
Okay.
I'll probably frame it up and I'll just put it in storage in my closet until I can make some room. Because you see my house, you see my office. There's no
You're out of real estate, buddy.
Unless
unless you like a curator does, you just switch out, other ones.
That's my
every few months.
That's funny that you bring that up because my dream has, like, my low key dream has always been to be like to own like an art gallery and just to be able to switch things up. Like that's why I call myself the curator, right? Like the idea of curating art exhibitions and themes. I would love to do that someday. Maybe one day if I ever hit it big, I'll be able to like rent out a space and I'll host like memorabilia, art gallery displays and things like that. Anyways, but it's probably going to be in storage until I can free up some wall space.
Oh yeah, that's where a lot of my stuff is.
But I will get it framed for sure.
Okay, love it.
What do you think? What do you think accounts for the difference in price?
Well, the thing is, it's not a big difference. Well, you said $650, correct?
No, 6,000.
Oh my goodness! I read you wrong, buddy.
Man, come on.
That is a huge difference. Oh my goodness! I thought it was like, why is he saying 650? Okay, I mean 6,500.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Gotcha.
I think I got a steal on that.
You did. Well, yeah. January.
Unless another one pops up. I could be wrong. If another one pops up and it goes for less.
No, I think you're right. I think because January is a different time than it is now. I mean, not just literally, but economy-wise too. I mean, we were selling a hell of a lot more back in January and making more top dollar on higher comps than we are now. So that's to be expected. And like right now is a better time as a buyer than it is as a seller.
Right.
So you try to grab on those things right now as you can, and or people, like you said, just sleep on everything. I mean, I remember when we were at the National, and sometimes I just blanked out and forgot about an auction that I was watching, and I just got so super busy, and I was like, "Oh crap, man! It's over with. I wonder what it sold for," and it sold way much more. I mean, way less than the one I was trying to auction, win an auction the week before. And I totally missed out, man, on this. It's like, ugh.
That's why it's like you can't take an auction sale for like 100% of whatever the fair market value on that item will be, because there's so many factors that play into auctions that not everybody has the time to sit there and watch an auction end. You know what I mean? Especially the way that these auctions work, where it's extended bidding, so you don't even know when it's going to end.
Yeah, I never get that. Hours. That frustrates me a lot too.
Right? It could go on for way longer than you think. If it ends at 7, it could end at like 9:30.
See, right? I didn't even know about that because a lot of times I was also in an auction and I didn't know about this extended bidding, and I thought I had won it. And now all of a sudden I get a notice about the extended bidding, but then I'm walking into a movie.
Yeah.
With, my girlfriend and her friends, and I have to totally miss out. I lost the auction.
Yeah. So, like I've said this many times before, like you should just take an auction sale as one factor in determining what the fair market value on any item is, but it's not the end all be all determining factor of it. Yeah. But anyways,
yeah, well, yeah, that's a good pickup, Dan. Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy I got that. So yeah, now's a good time. Like if you guys don't know, just check out these auction sites every once in a while. You might find some grails on there and you might get lucky. And I think that just kind of proves that. Well, first of all, I'm very fortunate I didn't win that auction back in January because I was able to get it now for way less. And I don't necessarily like if I was the winner in January, I wouldn't necessarily like feel terrible that it sold way less in November, but I would feel, but I'm glad that I have that extra money that I can spend it somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I got a deal. I feel
Oh,
like
you
I got a
definitely
deal.
did.
And I've been talking about this for a little while too. I feel like there's gonna be deals that you can get on rare items as people look to cash out in the hobby on things like that. So you can find like rare items out there, and you can probably get them at a better price than you could have got them, earlier in the year. So
Now, how did you find it?
I have the habit of searching for like I have all my saved searches, right? Like
Okay.
for example, I save uncut sheets, and I just have this habit of every once in a while, like once a month or whatever, I'll go onto these auction sites and I'll just type in like uncut sheets and I'll
Right.
see what they have. And it just popped up. So it's just something that I've been watching for a little while and I got lucky. Sometimes I miss things, like you said, you missed that auction. So sometimes I'll miss out, but whenever I've got a pretty good habit of checking auctions and I just search the same things over and over again. I search like super fractors, Star Wars super fractors, Topps Transcendent Superfractors, wrestling cards, uncut sheets, PMGs. I've got like 10 searches that I do on every single auction site, and I just look for the same things over and over again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That reminds. Speaking of transcendent wrestling,
Yeah.
it's on the biz my corner. I finally got a representative from PSA that figured out why one of my regular submissions I submitted the week after we got back from the national, and was wondering why it's still on hold and no one's contacted me, and it hasn't even gone to the grading process yet.
What happened to it?
Well, at first they kept telling me it's a superfractor, and I'm like, there's only 8 cards in my submission. None of them are superfractors. So you're talking about someone else's order. So I just kept, and they kept giving me a different story over and over again. Then finally, they told me what's going on. The Sasha Banks card, Transcendent card that Kelly sold to me at, no, it wasn't with the National. It was actually the Burbank card show. So it was around the same time as the Burbank card show. He gave me an uncirculated Transcendent autograph of Sasha Banks.
Okay.
That they ended up giving to Kelly. He won it or something at one of those Transcendent VIP parties. So he sold it to me. And so that's what they've been stuck on. But for the past month, I keep getting a different explanation. And they never told me it was the Sasha Banks card until today.
So they didn't know what it was.
No, they're still trying to find, they're still waiting to hear from Topps to see is this a legit card or not. So my submission's still on hold after 3 months.
Oh, interesting. So when they don't know if it's legit or not, they contact the manufacturer to verify it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
And I'm like, well, how long? Like, they're like, do you want us to give up and send the submission back to you? And I'm like, well, it's been there that long. No, I want y'all to just wait. Yeah, I guess you be the judge of how long is too long. But I think after 6 months, that could be too long for a regular submission. Already, it's a little too long, especially since all my economies have come back that I've submitted since then. And those were economies. This is a regular.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, speaking of weird stuff,
what is it? What else was your weird stuff?
Let's move on to the next topic here. This is going to be very interesting to discuss too. Okay, so you know the Magic, right? Magic cards.
Like Magic the Gathering?
Yes. Do you collect any of those?
No, because I don't know anything about them. Were you into Magic the Gathering?
No, I've never been into it. As a kid, I bought some, but the game was too complex for me.
To me too.
I'm not good at that.
At that point, I was too busy chasing women, man.
Okay, all right.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
So I missed the boat.
Yeah, so I'm not good at those card games, so I never got into playing Magic. I never really collected Magic that much. But anyways, I found out that they do these crossover cards where basically so Magic is actually owned by Hasbro.
Oh, really?
And Hasbro has the license to like G.I. Joe, Transformers, you know, all these toys companies, right? All these different IPs. And they made a Transformer Magic the Gathering card. Okay.
Oh, so it's kind of like what Monopoly does. They do like a theme sometimes for a
Yes. So,
city or something.
yeah.
So this one, they're doing a Transformer theme.
Yes, but they mixed it in with like the regular theme of the deck, which is like all the normal stuff, all the normal type of Magic cards, right? And then you would get these. This just came out like a couple days ago, so this is brand new. You can get like chase cards of these Transformer characters on a Magic card essentially.
Okay.
And I saw the ads on it on their Instagram, and I gotta admit they look pretty damn cool. They look pretty damn cool. Like the artwork is really cool. The way that they laid out the card, the design and everything is very, very cool. So for me, as a person that's never bought Magic before, I see that. I'm an 80s kid. I'm an 80s, 90s kid. Love Transformers. Immediately it appeals to me. Okay. So I like it. I'm already searching for them, right? But then here's the thing.
Okay.
I start reading the comments because I'm thinking like in the comment section, it's gonna be.
And where did you read these comments?
Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram. I'm thinking on the comments section, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's badass. Oh, this is a cool job. Whatever." What? I start reading the comments, and these people were like out for blood,
just roasting them,
roasting the Magic Instagram account. They were out for blood. They were so angry at this card. They were saying like, "This is not Magic. This is dumb, Hasbro. You are this is a cash grab. Sellout. This is a cash grab. Nobody's gonna want this. You're ruining the Magic brand. You know, us true Magic collectors are gonna leave." They're just roasting. They hate it.
Oh my gosh! So the Magic gamers are totally like just anti-Transformer, anti-themes.
And then I asked a couple of my other friends that do collect Magic, and they're saying like basically what Hasbro's been doing is that they've been overprinting Magic cards. They've been releasing all these crossovers that have nothing to do with the Magic brand, and it's not very popular within the Magic community base, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, so here's how this is how I tie it back into the hobby, guys.
Okay.
To me, here's my thoughts on it, okay?
Okay.
To me, I've never been a Magic collector. All right. I don't own any Magic cards. I'm not really interested in it at all, but I see them do this with Transformers, which is something that I do like, something that I am interested in, and it makes me want to buy the cards, even though I don't collect Magic cards at all, because they have a Transformer special IP version of it. I'm interested, and I'm doing research on it, and I might buy some because of that, right? And I think that that's why they do it. They don't do it necessarily for the community that actually supports their brand that they already have. They already have that customer base.
Okay.
Right. If we look at it from a business perspective, they already have that customer base. They want to expand their customer base. So they're making different cards that will appeal to different people that have never had any interest in Magic before. Right. I've heard that they've done like a Street Fighter version. They've done like a Lord of the Rings version. If they did a G.I. Joe version, I'd be all over it too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's all your generation, man.
Yes. And I bet you if they did like a G.I. Joe version, people would think that's like sacrilegious and they would just they would burn the cards. But to me, I like it. Right. So I think that when we see these different companies do different type of products that they're not known for, like Zero Cool, for example, right. Mm-hmm. Where they made the cards of the Jackass TV show. I don't watch Jackass. I thought it was dumb. I never bought those cards, but there might be some people that are hardcore fans of that subject matter, that IP, and it brings them into collecting. And then through that gateway card, they start collecting other things, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we have to be open-minded about in the hobby, because we're so quick to hate on different things, new things. But we have to understand that we don't have to like and we don't have to buy everything. For all the people that are like Magic collectors, for all the people that are in that community, if you don't like that product, you don't have to necessarily buy it, right? I don't think, unless there's something that I don't know about where they have to buy everything to play the game. I don't think that you have to participate on that product. It doesn't have to be this or that. It can be this and that. You know what I mean? And we have to be open-minded, because if we want the hobby to grow, we have to get more people into the hobby that maybe they don't collect the things that we like, but they like something else, and that brings them into the hobby, and then they start collecting. Like the Pixar cards, for example, that I've been showing off on my page lately, right? A lot of people that have been buying the Pixar cards off of me, they are not card collectors. They're like
Pixar fans,
Disney fans. But this is the gateway into getting them to collect, and then through that they start collecting other things. So I personally don't think it's bad. I like innovation. I like different things. I like those cards. I'm not going to buy them right now because they're super high, but I think that they'll go down at some point. So I'll probably, don't be surprised if you see me start showing off a Optimus Prime Shattered Glass Magic the Gathering.
Wait a minute, is there one?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my, are you serious? There's like variations like that?
Yes. And they're very, as I understand it, they're very hard to pull from the packs, because there's not like, if you buy the set, if you buy the packs, they're not just all Transformers cards. They're like Magic the Gathering.
They're mixed in with other Magic.
Yeah, they're inserts.
Regular cards.
Yeah, they're basically inserts. You get like
special inserts.
You get like one card per pack, and then you get a bunch of other Magic cards in there.
One card per pack will be the Transformer card.
No, I don't know. I don't know what the pack odds are. I'm just giving you an example.
Gotcha.
But I like it. So I think people should just be more open-minded, because the comments were so hateful. And this goes back to what we were saying before when we were talking about like, JDF passing.
Yeah.
Like we have to put our energy towards things that bring us joy. And we should be mindful not to get suckered into these traps where we're just like doing things that upset us for no reason. Right. Cause it's not, it's not that important. It's like, it's cards, and you don't have to buy the cards. You know what I mean? You don't have to buy these things. You can just appreciate it for what it is. And if you don't care about it, you don't have to go out of your way to comment to tell people why you're so upset. You know what I mean?
Yes. Can't blame someone else. It's your own responsibility. You make the decision. You're an adult human being. You make decisions.
Right. People get so worked up about this stuff. And I'm sure there's content creators out there that do that type of content where they purposely try to work people up. Like what I always say people try to like create like a false sense of grievance, and then they get worked up and they start like lashing out. And it's like, you don't have to do all that stuff. You know what I mean? But anyways, if we have any Magic collectors in the chat, I'd love to hear your opinion about it. I'm sure like 95% of people hate those cards, but for me personally, I think they look cool.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know how much those cards were worth until I saw Probstein start listing them this year, and I clicked on and see what the final sells just out of curiosity. And these were going for like the original ones from early to mid 90s. And they were going for tens of thousands of dollars. I was like, holy moly, man.
You don't even understand how big Magic is. Like we don't talk about it. We're not part of that community at all, right? But the Magic community, I would say, is equally as big as like the Pokemon community, and probably bigger than sports cards, because those cards are worth a lot of money. I actually met this dude who's like, he said that he's like the top ranked Magic player in the world. And he has like a collection of Magic. He works for like eBay. He's like a brand ambassador for eBay. He's from Hawaii, I think. His name escapes me right now, but he told me like, oh yeah, my Magic collection's worth, tens of millions of dollars, and I have like the best cards or whatever, right?
Oh my goodness.
And he started showing me some of these things, and like it blew my mind. I met him in Atlanta. He was there at Culture Collision, and it kind of like blew my mind that those cards that had such a passionate community of collectors that were buying those cards. And you know what's really interesting about those things too is that a lot of the cards, like I asked this dude, he said like a lot of the cards aren't even like, they don't even care that it's graded because they play with them, right? So they'll still, you could have a card that's worth 5 figures and you play with it in your deck because it's a very powerful card or something like that. So that whole community, that TCG side of that stuff is completely different world. Very interesting. I'd love to learn more about it, but I think it's very cool.
So, Dan, I'm going to ask you a question. How many boxes have you already ordered of these Transform Gathering?
None. I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to. Well, it just came out. It just came out last week, like a couple days ago, like on November 18th, I think.
I know, but I can see you already ordering a couple boxes just to see what you get.
If they were all Transformer cards, I would do it.
Okay.
But they're like 10 Magic cards plus one Transformer card in there. And I don't, I'd rather just spend my money, buy it on eBay. But the prices are too high right now. They're going for thousands of dollars.
Oh, really?
They're too high. So I'm going to wait till they the price evens out. Maybe somebody will grade it and I'll buy like a PSA 10 version of something like that.
Ooh, nice.
But I think they look super cool because I love Transformers. So for me, it appeals. It's like a crossover product that appeals to me. And I think it's an interesting case study on why they do these things. Okay. All right. Moving on. Next topic I want to talk about. We'll talk about this briefly. I'll tell you my next obsession right now. So I went to Designer Con in Anaheim, California over the weekend.
And did you go Saturday?
Yeah. For people who don't know, Designer Con is like a cross between like an art show, pop culture show, comic show. It's not a comic book convention. It's not a toy show. It's like pop culture art in toy form, basically. They have all the stuff. Anyways, I went down this rabbit hole. Okay. Well, first of all, let me just tell you real quick. I'll give you a brief story. So I went there with Ann, and we walked the show for like an hour and a half. And it was
that big. Wow.
Yeah, but it only took an hour and a half to walk through the whole thing.
Okay.
And after an hour and a half, we're done. So it's not like a sports show where we're there for like 5-6 hours. We just keep walking around in circles. Once you see everything, you're pretty much done, right? So anyways, we walk around for like an hour and a half and we see all these cool things, right? All these different type of like vinyl pop toys and things like that. And then I don't really collect vinyl pop toys a lot. I have some, but it's not like something I actively look for. And anyways, we're getting ready to walk out, and I just tell Ann, Ann, she wants to get something for fun, right?
Okay.
So I said, okay, go ahead, go buy a little. We stand in line to go into this like a booth where you can buy a bunch of different vinyl pop figures, and she walks in there, and this is Ann, my wife. She doesn't collect a lot of things, She's very minimalistic. She's very frugal. She's not like me at all. Completely opposite in terms of like how we collect and spending money and things like that. She walks into this booth there. It's called Pop Mart, and they have all sorts of different characters. They must have like hundreds of different characters that you can buy. And she goes nuts. She goes nuts for these things because they're like these little pop vinyl figures that are super like this. I'll show you this. Like this right here.
Oh, that's what. Okay, I watched that today. Your
right
Instagram.
So this is like a Godzilla vinyl toy, and there's all sorts of different types of things like this. There's like cute girly ones and things like that. Anyways,
cute girly ones.
They're all the common theme is they're all small, they're all cute, and she just goes nuts for these things. And she's like, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one, and then seeing her excitement for this stuff gets me excited because
of course,
because as a collector, I want to share my collecting passion with her so we can do something together, right?
Right.
She doesn't like to collect anything. So for me to see her get excited about collecting these things gets me excited. And I said, oh, I want some of those. So everything that she buys, we buy another one. So she gets one, I get one. Okay. And the way they come is they come in these little boxes, and
those are so cool.
They're called blind boxes.
Blind boxes?
Right. So you don't know. So it's like a pack of cards. It's like a pack of cards where don't know.
But in a box.
Yes. You don't know what you're going to get. So you see these little pictures here of all the ones that they make. And you're like, okay, I want this one. I want this one. I want this one. And then you grab the box. You kind of like weigh it in your hand. You kind of like squeeze it to see if it's like shaped like the one that you want. Right. But it's like opening a pack of cards basically. And then they have like secret chase ones, just like inserts that you would get in packs. They have a secret chase one. So this one, I was actually going for this blue dragon right here. Okay. But
it was pretty similar.
I actually got the chase version of it. So
that's like a variation of that same figure.
Yeah.
Got it.
And these things, they're not super expensive. They're like $15. They're like $10 to $15 each. Some of them go for a little bit more, but they're right around that $15 price range. Anyways, so we end up buying like 20 of them,
Oh my goodness.
Like 20, like
1 hour later.
Yeah, we spent like $300 buying all these different types. Not just this one. We bought like all sorts of like different ones, like Minions, Disney,
Oh, there were Disney ones too.
Yeah, I'll show you.
And DreamWorks. Wow.
I have them right here.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I can imagine if you saw Disney, you already spent $1,000 on Disney.
Yeah. So like, and then we were buying them for my daughter and stuff like that. And they come in the really nice packaging. Like this is a tiger one. So you can get whatever the tiger.
Kangaroo and baby.
Yeah, there's different versions of that.
Ooh.
Here's a really cool box art that I love this. This is pretty cool. So you can get different ones there. This is another monster. This is another chase one that I got.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Oh, how
look at
funny.
this one.
It's like a lion.
You can see his balls on the back there.
Oh my goodness. Whoa.
Yeah. So this is a monster. This is like a panda version. And then the Disney ones, my daughter already opened.
I like the boxes and I like the toys.
It's really well done. Very, very nice packaging. The toys are really cool. They're solid, made of like whatever resin or whatever this is. So very
3D
solid.
imaging.
Yeah, but anyways, so I'm kind of obsessed with these blind boxes now, where I want to go buy more and just open them up because you get that thrill of gambling, just like we do with cards, right?
Okay.
You get the thrill of trying to find the chase one in here. Plus, you get.
They all have chases?
Yes, they all have chase products in here. You get like the nice, cool box art display. You get like a super cute little figure. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's not that expensive. And it's like my new thing that I'm obsessed with, that I'm collecting these little vinyl figures. But here's the thing. This is what I think is the lesson here. This is, again, we're going to bring this back to the hobby, guys. Okay. If you can make a product that is cute, okay, any product that you can make is cute, it becomes collectible. And if it's collectible, you can make money on it. So for me, like, I'm always thinking about the business side of things, and I'm looking at these things and I'm thinking to myself, how do I get in on this? How do I sell these? Because I guarantee you, the way that how crazy my wife became, how crazy Anne went when she saw all these things on display and she wanted to buy them all.
Yeah,
I can imagine myself if I go to like a card show and I have these things on display and people are walking by with their wives or their daughters, girlfriends, whatever, and they see these things. I'm like, oh, I can make money on these things. You know what I mean? Like I can sell these things because they check all those boxes that I just went over. You know what I mean?
So you're gonna start selling them at shows now?
If I can find these, somehow, because I don't know where people get these, to be honest. Like I don't know where you can buy these at wholesale prices, but I would love to bring these things to a card show and put them on display because I think they have massive crossover appeal to our community because they just check so many boxes for me. And they're like affordable too. It's not like you're buying like the cheapest thing that we can buy would be like a Pixar box for like $100, $110, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these things are like $15. So it's very easy to buy like these small little products, have fun with them. So don't be surprised if you start seeing me set up and I've got all these vinyl toys. I want to definitely evolve my show game next year. I want to bring comic books, graded figures, and stuff like this, like pop culture stuff to these shows because I think that they would do well there.
Well, definitely have eye appeal, that's for sure.
Yeah. So that's my update from DesignerCon. That's pretty cool. Anything you want to talk about before we go into shout outs? And then
I've had one mail day. I mean, I've ordered a bunch of boxes and stuff just like you have recently. Ordered cases of Pixar. Ordered
cases?
Case of
you ordered
cases? I ordered one case. Ordered a case.
Oh, what'd you get it for?
Oh,
how much? Don't tell me you paid more than 16.
It's pretty close to that.
1,600, yeah, okay, that's good. That's about. I did see because
I think they had listed 1,800 best offer.
Yeah, I saw another case go for 1,800 yesterday. So people.
I think I end up getting it. It comes around like $95 or $100 a box.
Yeah, that's right.
But the boxes are actually going up a lot more. I noticed.
Don't blame me for that, guys. Don't blame me.
It's all your fault. The Pumpinator.
Don't blame me for that. Okay, but I was telling you
it's
guys.
It's all your fault, man.
I was trying to tell people Pixar is a hot IP,
And it was hard to find some like that are in the United States. Like most of them are all like Japan or Hong
They're
Kong.
hard to source,
Yes.
Like I was telling people like when word spreads and people find out that they're making these Pixar cards and people see them, they're easy sell. They're an easy sell. I've been selling a whole bunch of them, like the loose singles to people on Instagram and whatnot over the last couple weeks. So it's a hot product for sure.
And you know what else is hard to find or hard to get, especially, can't find it in the United States whatsoever, is those 2022 Panini Super Mario Brothers cards. I know you've been looking for those as well. Yeah. And oh my goodness, they're like, no one in this United States has any, unless you order from Germany or UK.
There's so many cool things out there that I want to get into, but I'm trying to maintain a focus on the things that we do right now. But oh man, there's just so many great things to collect out there. You know what I mean? So like the way that I'll focus on something for a little bit and then I'll move on to my next thing and then I'll have fun with that. And then I might go back or I might go to something else. So
so I got one thing in the mail from PSA actually this week, and I got it I just got it authenticated because it has a punch hole in it because it's a redemption card from 2000 Inkworks Simpsons card. And I noticed like how those redemption ones from the Art Bart went up. I'm sure this won't go as much as the redemption card from what was that, from 93, the Art Bart redemption card.
Yeah.
But these are from the autograph. So I thought it was pretty cool. It has pretty cool eye appeal and everything. So I just wanted it slabbed. But it's, Bart Simpson.
That's
and
cool.
This redeemed for Yeardley Smith, who's Lisa Simpson autograph. Awesome. So it's on the back. It checks you, tells you which one it is.
Nice.
So I just got slabbed, authenticated. I feel like Simpsons is a good investment right now.
Cool.
That's it.
I love the Simpsons too.
At some pop culture.
At some point, we're going to talk about the Simpsons also a lot. But what's crazy? It's like these products. The reason we probably don't talk about Simpsons much is they don't have a lot of product out there.
No, I think that was probably the last time they had cards was like 2000.
They don't have current product. They don't have current product.
No.
So for things to be collectible, they also have to still be relevant to, there has to be like easy products that you can get to get people into collecting. And then they always go back and look for the more rare stuff, the older stuff. So I think that if somebody made like Simpsons cards nowadays, like Weiss Schwartz made Simpsons cards or something like that, we'd be all over that for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't do it because there's so many generations that have enjoyed The Simpsons. I was a teenager in college when The Simpsons started.
Right.
And now I'm, 29.
Right. That show literally has like over 30 seasons. I think it's on season 33 right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Insane the longevity there. And at some point, if you just probably think of the legions of fans that have watched that over the last like it started in like the 90s, so
89 or 90,
the last
90, I'd say
3 decades or so. Oh my God, if they ever start collecting cards, those things are going to be the hottest thing ever.
Most definitely. They need to make new modern versions.
Yeah Somebody needs to get the license for that and start making cards. Anyways, okay, let's go into our last segment here, shout outs, and then we'll get to comments.
Okay.
I know we got a lot of comments to go through here. So again, guys, we're going to be doing this segment where we just start shouting out other content creators that we follow, we watch, just to try to give them a little bit of exposure, let them know that we appreciate them. So this week, I'm going to shout out my friends, Cousins Collectibles. They have their own podcast, Cousins Collectibles. Check them out on Instagram, and also they have their podcast on YouTube. These are two cousins, Oz and Tony, and the reason I like these guys, they're super cool, but I like their message. Their message is on, is very in line with yours and mine, Merlin, where they talk about positivity, respect, and collecting focused, and all the conversations they have, all the interviews that they do. It's just like real collector conversations that I think anybody can appreciate. So those guys are super cool. I met them at the National. I did an interview with them on their podcast a few months ago. So definitely check those guys out. They're definitely somebody that you want to put into your routine of following them and content. So that's one guy. And then the other guy is my friend Rob, sports card therapist. He has a pretty big following also, so he doesn't really need a shout out, but he's a really cool guy. We have a mutual love for wrestling cards. He claims to be the super Hulk Hogan super collector.
Oh, he is.
I don't know about that. I think I would. I think Drake is actually the Drake's PC is actually the Hulk Hogan super collector. But
oh, really?
I think I would at least be on par with him in terms of our Hulk Hogan collection.
Oh,
But
my
anyways,
goodness.
I'm not trying to start a beef with him. But he comes out. He came out with a video today talking about like hobby, how it's a war zone, and how there's drama in the hobby. And he has a very interesting perspective on it that I think I would encourage everybody to watch his video. But basically, to summarize, he's saying that people who position themselves to be like quote unquote hobby watchdogs are the people that are attacking other content creators. And he was making the point that there's room for hobby watchdogs in the hobby in the hobby in the content space, but that at some point they tend to overdo it and they tend to just attack people not because they're doing something wrong, but for like the content value of attacking people, bringing them down. And he made a very good example that it's kind of like a barking dog. He said, like, you know, it's good to have a barking dog to kind of warn you when something's wrong, but if the dog barks constantly, then it's impossible to tell when something's wrong and when the dog is just barking like he normally does. So he kind of made that analogy with some of these content creators, a lot of these trolls out there that I like to call out. He was making the analogy that maybe they're just attacking people for no good reason at all. So he kind of gave his perspective on that. I thought it was very interesting. So check that out. And he puts out really cool content. And at some point, I'll probably go on his show and we'll probably have a debate about who has the best Hulk Hogan cards.
Oh, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Well, tell him to buy my Prism Blue and Hulk Hogan auto.
He probably would. Hit him up. He probably would.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to give it out to like two smaller guys that's on social media. They always watch our show all the time. They're both from LA. So I was like, okay, LA is the magic word. And these two guys shout outs. First, it's David Campos, LA card guy. We know David from the card shows. He's a big Star Wars enthusiast, Star Wars expert, and he sells other pop culture cards and sports cards at our shows. But this guy really knows the Star Wars. So he's the LA dot card guy on Instagram. So go to Instagram at LA.card guy. But if you ever need any questions about Star Wars or Star Wars cards, I always tend to go to Dave and ask him a lot of questions about Star Wars. And I know you do as well. Mm-hmm. Another person that watches our show, funny guy. You can check him out on he is the AJ, the LA Hobbyist. So you can check him out on Instagram and YouTube, the LA Hobbyist. So check him out. I think he has an OnlyFans page as well. Just kidding. I saw one of his posts on Instagram. I was like, "Are you really on on this?" And he's like, "OnlyFans." He's like, "No, it's just clickbait." I was like, "Oh, I was trying to find out your username."
Yeah. Both really good guys.
Yeah.
Both have been in the hobby, have sustained their presence in the hobby the last year or so. So I like both those guys a lot.
Yes. So shout out to them.
Okay, let's get to some of the comments here. I know
we got a bunch. Some of them have been cracking me up, distracting me.
Been waiting for us patiently here. So we'll get to the comments, guys. Here, let's see here.
And here I'm wearing also the shirt Between Two Slabs, done by Paper Gemz. So check him out and look for his apparel as well. So Dan wore it last week, and I'm wearing it this week. So we love Mo. Jake Ryan OC, what is the ideal Thanksgiving rip for cards? Football? Sure, why not? Do it while you're open a box while you're watching some of the games. I think there's 3 games on Thanksgiving, Dan?
Right. Yeah, I think football would be a fun rip for Thanksgiving. I think it'd be cool if you played like a drinking game. Thanksgiving Day drinking game. Like you had a box and you had to rip the box and you had to pull like the quarterback of the people that are playing on Thanksgiving Day during the Turkey Bowl or whatever. I think that'd be really cool.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Like if you pull the card, like if it's the Cowboys and you pull like Dak Prescott, you win a prize or something like that.
It looks like Jake is holding a lightsaber in that photo. CV Sports Cards. What's up, fellas? What's up, Adrian? Philly Joe. Hey, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Grateful you're on. Fat Belly Gengar. Oh, wow. Pokemon fan here. If Pokemon ever does numbered cards, do you think more people from other card hobbies would jump in? Probably.
Yeah, I think so, because
there's definitely that incentive.
Because for there to be easy crossover, there has to be things that we understand. So like with grading, for example, right? Like we can, if you're a sports card collector, you can cross over and you can collect graded cards of anything else because you understand it when it looks in a slab, right? And same thing applies to like Marvel cards, for example, right? Marvel cards are they've picked up in popularity over the last couple of years because Upper Deck has the brand of Marvel, and they started producing cards the way that they do with sports cards, with like the different inserts and the different color parallels and the numbered cards, all the stuff that they do with sports, they do it with Marvel. Same thing with Panini, right? When they acquired the WWE license, they basically started putting their Prism Select brand and all their inserts there. So we as collectors, we understand that it's familiar to us. It's just a different an IP, a different IP, but the subject matter is still the same. So it's very easy for us to switch over. So I think if Pokemon does that or any of these TCGs, we'd be all over that, because they're kind of already doing it now. They have like foil cards, holograms, stuff like that. So if you start implementing like numbered cards and things like that, chase cards, I definitely think that would be much more appealing to people.
It's probably why Star Wars Galaxy Chrome did so well, right?
Right, exactly, with the super fractors and everything.
Ed Ram, what's up, bud? Evening, fellas from Houston, H-Town. It's got the thumbs up. Ed Ram, Merlin, that video, that zombie boy made me laugh. Great job, thanks. Yeah, I was trying to make that look like Darby Allin from AEW. Philly Joe, Merlin, what's on your shoulders? It's a heating pad for my upper back and neck to loosen up my muscles so I don't have any pain when I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Andrew, hey guys, hope you're doing well. Have a great Thanksgiving. You too as well, Andrew.
I kind of want to highlight this comment, but I'm not going
to. Okay. Well, can't wait to see what it is. Is it free girls in our city?
Yeah. I don't know why these people just jump into our chat and start spamming us these bots or whatever they are.
Well, I don't know what you've been surfing on, Dan. I think it's you, man.
Probably.
Fat Belly Gengar. Does the Green Ranger have any cards? Dan, does he?
They came out with some cards in like the 90s, like 93, 94, something like that. They're not that expensive. You can go get those cards right now. It's almost impossible to find any graded version of them. And if you're buying the raw ones, they're not great quality. They tend to stick a lot. They have really poor centering. I have a couple actually. In fact, let me show you.
Okay.
I'll show you guys.
And I also think, didn't they have a new revamped show on Netflix? Wasn't there a new higher production version of Power Rangers that came out recently?
Well, they've been making Power Rangers for a while, so probably.
Yeah, but a new one that was on Netflix, right?
I'm not sure.
Because I wonder how it was doing in popularity.
Never mind. I can't find it. I don't want to make you guys wait, but I did have some. I'll post it on my Instagram later. But yeah, they do have that stuff, and as far as I know, that's the only Power Ranger cards out there.
Oh wow! And when did those come out? Like 90s?
Yeah, in the 90s. I feel like I need one though. I feel like I need a Green Ranger PSA 10 something. We'll see.
Global Sports Card Investor. Good day there, my American amigos. Good day from US to Australia. Jake Ryan OC. I don't care if I was offered a decent amount of cash for some of my auto cards or even my sketches. They mean a lot to me as a collector, and that's great to hear.
Right.
Collect what you like, buddy.
Right. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people have forgotten what it is to collect. So that's why it's good for us to kind of like remind people that is the foundation of our hobby. And then everything else, if you can get a good foundation of people who collect, all the money, all the profit will follow that.
Okay.
Get a good supporter of people, because people have to be hardcore to buy things. You know what I mean? If you're going to
Mm-hmm.
spend your hard-earned money on something, you've got to really appreciate it. Otherwise, if you're just trying to like match comps and get and squeeze out margins on people to make a profit, that's kind of got us where we are today. And it served a purpose to grow the hobby the last couple of years, but I think the hobby has to evolve to get past this current stage we're in.
Big John Collector's Cards. What's up, fellas? What's up, John? Leo, flight and hotel booked for Burbank Card Show. Can't wait to see you down here in February, Leo. Dexflow Toys. Great curator bought my Grail toy and AFA 80 Optimus Prime for $8,000. One just sold on Hakes. Is that right? For $9,700 on the 16th of November. Wow.
Graded toys are going to be a thing, guys. Believe me. Right now, it is still just in the infancy stage of where the hobby looks at it. But if you look at graded cards, graded comic books, graded toys are going to be right up there with everybody else. Because here's my thought process on graded toys. Okay, like for people that like hardcore toy collectors, they know their stuff already. They don't necessarily care if it's graded or not because they can tell whether a toy is mint condition, inside out of the box, whatever. They might want to display their toys outside of the box or whatever and do things with their toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people that are not that don't have that knowledge base, they look for a way to understand whether a toy is really good condition, whether it's fake, a reprint, authentic, whatever. So grading fills that void for a lot of casual collectors that just want to have something really cool to display and they don't want to get ripped off or they don't know what they're buying. So they just kind of go with that. The same thing with cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that graded toys will fill that role. And then eventually some of these toys are going to be so like valuable and coveted that you're going to need to preserve them. You're going to need to, make sure that they're encapsulated so that they don't get broken or the elements don't get to them and things like that. So that's where I feel like the role is going to be filled by graded toys in the future. I've shown off many of my G.I. Joes. I've got some Star Wars graded toys and things like that. I'll probably be buying more in the future because it's still like compared to where we are in cards, graded toys are still very early stages of where they could be.
Oh yeah. I can imagine. And is that Optimus Prime? Is that like 80? Does he mean 1980? Is that when it came out, this toy?
I'm sure he must mean the 80s one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sucinto, uncut sheets are cool and all, but they take up too much room. And aren't they considered backdoored cards? What's a backdoored card, Dan?
I think he means something that's not meant to go into the public, and then somebody there just some worker or something takes it out the back door and sells it. I think that's
that's what. Okay, gotcha.
I think that's what they mean. So I've always seen uncut sheets as I don't see them as cards. I see them as like an art print, a piece of art, and it just always looks cool to me to have a whole set of cards on one display. Like this is not an uncut sheet, but you can see how badass this thing looks when all the cards are displayed like this, right?
That's pretty cool.
So I've always loved uncut sheets. Even before I got back into collecting graded cards, I collected uncut sheets for years. So yes, they are. I guess you could say they're backdoored because what they are basically is when the manufacturer makes their print run, they still have a whole bunch of cards left over, like printed sheets, right? And they're supposed to get destroyed. The uncut sheets are supposed to get destroyed, but occasionally one falls off the back of a truck or something like that, or they give them away to employees as gifts, or they just sit in storage and then they get forgotten about and they get released. So you will see uncut sheets surface from time to time, but they're still pretty rare to find.
Oh wow, and that's why you like them. Philly Joe, Dan, I think everything you mentioned, main reason would be the auction house and number of people bidding.
Yeah, he's talking about my the uncut sheet topic that we're saying, like why there was that such a significant price difference between Golden and Heritage.
Definitely Philly Joe. Zach of all trades, Hasbro printing modern to oblivion. So you mean like Hasbro's printing cards to like
Yeah.
So much like Panini is right now.
Yeah. So this is interesting because this was actually mentioned in like on those what do you call those, like the MSNBC analysis of companies,
Really?
because Hasbro is a public company,
Right.
and they recently, somebody did an analysis. There was like an analyst company that did an analysis of Hasbro, and they said that they were overprinting their Magic cards, which caused the stock to lose, a significant amount of value that day. Because this really surprised me too about that analysis. Magic the Gathering accounts for like 30% of their or 15% total sales, and then like 30% total profit of the company Hasbro. So like you think like all their toys are like their main thing, right? But like their Magic division makes a lot of their profit. So when they got criticized for overprinting, it caused the stock to go down and things like that. So I guess that's what a lot of people are complaining about. But here's the thing: like we as collectors, we don't want them to print a lot because we want things to maintain their value, right? That's what we're seeing today with Panini and all their stuff. We want things to be scarce so that they maintain their value. But I think that, again, if they're printing these things and they're selling, as a company, they have to do that to make money because they're not making money on the secondary value of their cards that they print, right? If they sell something at retail value for like $20 and it goes for like $200 on the secondary market, they don't get any of that profit. You know what I mean? So they've got to make their money that way, but at the same time, they have to be kind of like conscious about overprinting, I guess, to where they make their cards worthless. But I think that there's always going to be like that dynamic where it's collector versus people who want to play the game versus people who want to sell or flip it and make a profit. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the answer to that is, but I don't necessarily blame them for overprinting if the demand is there. I know Pokemon cards, they do the same thing. Like sometimes the Pokemon company, they'll issue reprints of sets.
Oh my goodness.
If the set is so popular, they'll issue reprints of it, and it drives Pokemon investors crazy because these investors will buy up boxes and ETBs and cases, hoping that it will appreciate in value. And then if that same set comes out a year later or 2 years later or whatever, it kind of like tanks the value of their investment. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. But those cards don't say like reprints on them, do they? I mean, they should, shouldn't they?
I don't think so. I think
there's no way to differentiate the two, the originals and the reprints.
Yeah, not that I know of. If anybody collects all that stuff, let us know in the chat, but not that I know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Like, I feel like those things, it's hard to say this. This is going to be controversial. Okay. I think.
Okay.
But I feel like everything everything can be collectible. Everything can be collectible, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has to have value to it. You know what I mean? Because we can collect all sorts of things. Like I can collect these little vinyl figures, but that doesn't mean that this vinyl figure should be worth like 20, 30, 40 bucks in the future or whatever, right? It's just I want to collect it, so I buy it. And I think that we have to have that mindset, or that's the mindset that they want us to have. Whereas we're so used to flipping cards that if I buy like one of these little things, I'm expecting it to hold its value so that I can flip it in the future. You know what I mean? But for most collectors, it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people have to kind of realize, is that most collectibles are not worth, are not going to automatically appreciate in value. You know what I mean? Like everybody that collects, like, I don't know, like Disney stuff, like Disney toys. If you go to like Disneyland and you buy all that Disney merchandise, all that stuff is highly collectible, right? But it doesn't mean that they're gonna make it again. They're gonna overprint it, and continue to make whatever you buy. If you buy a toy, if you buy a stuffed animal or whatever, so you can't get mad at the company for doing that just because it doesn't hold the value that you expect it to hold. That's what I'm saying.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I guess sometimes it's just like if you maybe just own the original ones, because you never know if those toys you bought at Decon could end up becoming a hot item.
Yeah, I mean,
or bought out and then they
yeah,
become commercial.
it could, depending if there's enough demand for it, then it will increase, it will appreciate in value for sure. But at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do if you're a company? You want to print. The demand is there. The demand is there to support their print run. So what can you really do about that stuff? So that's why like companies like Panini will create all these inserts. You got to create something for people to chase, for them to feel like they're getting the value for whatever you're charging. So that's why they do those chase cards. That's why we have so many chase cards.
Course.
Now they're overprinting the chase cards, but that's just kind of
there's like there's a one of every color of the rainbow.
Right. So it takes away, but that was Panini's solution to that problem, because the demand was there for all the stuff, but then they printed too much of it and people complained. So then they created all these chase cards, and now people are complaining there's too many chase cards. So it's like, what do you do? Right.
Right. No one cares about the base. Dexflow Toys. I wonder if Merle would ever turn heel on Dan and join the trolls. IH has tried to. He's tried to be those guys tried to be a Bobby Heenan or $1 Million Man. But I ain't going to be like Andre the Giant.
That will be our greatest twist, where when one of us turn heel. I think I should turn heel. I think I should be the one that turns heel. I'm a natural heel, I think.
Okay. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I think I should turn
but
heel.
You already are, though. You don't need that. You're not turning.
We'll start an online beef between us, and then we'll have a match.
Oh, my goodness. Wait till my neck gets better, okay? We got 10 years ahead of you.
Sorry, we got a lot of comments, and these comments are long.
Almost.
I had to
I was 12 years older than Dan.
And
it's like, what was the first Funkos? Is right what they're called? Do you remember what the first ones were? The originals?
I think it was like DC superheroes.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
So I wonder how much those are now these days.
I mean, why don't you ask the King of Pops? He's an expert on that.
I'll go in one of his chats and ask him.
Yeah, I mean,
you're trying to pump and dump those?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Let's see where you're going. Toa. He hasn't said Curator Army mount up, unless you missed it. Pokemon reprints do not say reprint. Oh, good to know, Toa. So there's no way to tell. Andrew, I see the blind boxes on eBay. Oh, he's already looking, doing some research. It looks like the ones you bought, Dan, at the designer show at Decon. So it's definitely a thing and market there. Would be worth bringing it to a card show and just see what happens.
I'm telling you guys, okay? For us as card collectors, maybe we don't care, okay? But this stuff appeals to a broader audience. Anything that is cute, small, is collectible, and collectible makes money.
The year of the tiger. Is that your year?
No, I'm the year of the dog.
Oh, me too. Oh, because we're 12 years apart. Duh. Yeah. CV Sports Cards. My forecast soon, it's going to be the Auction House Wars, 20% buyer premium reduction. They all now offer free vaulting. Next is the BP, and then eBay is going to take over again, full market share. Oh, wow, Adrian.
I think this year was the year of the marketplace wars for sure. They're already there, Adrian. They're already fighting. They're already undercutting each other and doing all these things. But next year, I think, is going to be the year of the big shows, wars, and they're going to be trying to like outdo each other until like there's like just a couple group of people standing.
Yeah, I already got like $100 credit to use in the auctions at PWCC. Did you get that as well?
No,
I didn't get one. Yeah.
I want
guess
that.
You're trying. Maybe you're already in the auctions.
See, that's how they get you. Now I got to go buy something, but you probably have to spend more than $100 to use that credit, right?
Probably, yes.
So I got to go buy something for like $200 just to use that credit.
Catch.
Always a catch with that stuff, man. And like it gets to be too much sometimes. Where, like, I just bought that stuff on Heritage Auction. I got stop. I need to like cut this cold turkey. It's too damn addicting to surf through these sites, and you want to buy everything, right? And I'm still looking at a couple of other grails on these sites. I can't mention it right now because I don't want the competition. But I'm looking at grails. It's going to be a lot of money. I'm probably gonna get priced out on these things, but god damn these marketplaces for taking our money. They know how to play us for sure.
Andrew, have a great night, fellas. Thanks for another great live stream. Thank you, Andrew, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving, brother.
Appreciate it. And I think that's a good way to kind of stop end the show tonight. We'll end it early. We've been going like 2 hours.
Early? It's an hour and a half, dude.
Yeah, but we've been going like 2 hours.
Yes, we have.
The last show.
We've had a lot of comments.
So we will wrap this one up here. Anything you want to plug? I've got a couple things I want to show you.
Okay, go ahead. Show us.
Okay. Our friends at Slabmags are coming out with these new Slabmags.
Yeah. I saw those at the Dallas show.
These are the metallic versions. Okay, so metallic. What is this? Gold, silver, and then
you have a PMG in there. Who is that? Magic Johnson?
Yeah, I got my Magic Johnson PMG in here. I do have sports cars, guys. So these are coming out sometime in December. So
they're shiny and it's shine on shine.
Yes, very cool. They do cost a little bit more money though, but they're cool if you want.
How much are they?
I think $5 more.
Okay.
It's not for sure yet. I don't know. They told me it's going to be a little bit more.
Don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah. So I'll probably be doing a giveaway for Slabmags pretty soon for December holidays. So you guys check that out. And then anything else?
That's it. Just check me out. I'm only 16 away, guys, from 800 subscribers on YouTube. So I need those 16 subs. So if you're guys in the chat hear me and you're not subscribed to More World Cards, go to More World Cards on YouTube, and I need just 16. And then I'm going to give a bunch of giveaways out that I've repeated over and over again. So I've kept my word. So once we get to 800, I'll be doing a raffle giveaway online, probably maybe on the show. Who knows?
16 to 800. All right, yep. We got to get them there.
200 guys. From 1,000. That's all I need. I just need 1,000 because oh my god, my hours viewed is through the roof. So I just need my viewers, my subscribers, to match the hours viewed.
We've been talking about this for months, guys. So let's try to get him there by the end of the year. That's the goal. Okay, that's the mission for everybody. Get More World Cards to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. He only needs 216 more. So we'll
get it done.
Get him to 800. Let's get him to 800 first. We only need 16.
Yeah, baby steps.
Yes. Okay. All right. So we'll wrap it up, guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. If you don't, happy holidays.
Yeah, just enjoy your Thursday because you're off.
Enjoy your time with your friends, your family. Be present in the moment. Appreciate the things you have, and thank you guys for supporting us. And we will see you next week.
See you. Happy holidays, guys.